next section, Section 10, is on suturing. We'll also cover perineal repair. You'll learn about suturing after birth, questions such as what instruments you might need, and where to find instructions, alternative methods of laceration closure, and she's got lots more for you. So let's get started on suturing.
I have been working on a project on my emergency childbirth book, okay? There are some good emergency childbirth books and information out there, but I have always been upset, okay? I've always been upset that they do not give enough information. In other words, if it's just a fast birth, you know you just need to put your hands out there and have a towel and get the baby warm and whatever. But if there is really a true disaster, and you're working with women who are high risk, you're working with women, you know, through the whole labor process and so forth, then you ought to be able to have some information that you can check with to see what to do with certain situations, okay? Am I making myself clear? I mean, that has always bothered me, that women should have access to that kind of information, and EMTs and paramedics and all the people that go out and are going to help in a situation, so that they can look at the information and say, oh, well, let me try this, let's try this, let's do that. Or this isn't going to work, I don't think, or whatever. And I have completed writing the suturing section for the book. It is very extensive, okay? It is quite extensive. And I wanted, before I taught this class, to have it all put together so you could download it. But I do not have it ready. It's all written and edited, and I have all the illustrations. I have a beautiful illustrator, okay, Steve Keel. And I am going to put this section out for downloading. So if you download the basic instructions up there, then you will be notified when this comes out. It's probably going to be about 70 pages, okay? And even if you never intend to suture yourself, okay, you need to download this and have this in your emergency, all the stuff that you're gathering for emergency preparedness, because it really is important that people who have to go a little further than what they have in the past, okay, do something a little bit more to stretch at the time of delivery, that they have some information for them to look at and figure out, well, how can I put this together? For instance, there are different degrees of lacerations, first, second, third, fourth, okay? Fourth degree goes through the anal sphincter. I had my anal sphincter cut with my first baby. It was a forceps delivery. I got damaged there, and it took the doctor an hour to sew me up, but he did a pretty good job, although now that I'm older, I'm starting to have problems there. But I personally, as a midwife, have been trained to do a fourth degree repair, but I have never actually done one. I have maybe experienced 2 women that had fourth degree tears, and I took them into the hospital because doctors have sewed up thousands of women in fourth degree tears. But if I was in an emergency situation and there was no one more qualified to suture, to do a fourth degree tear on a woman, I would do it. I would not have her so that she was incontinent and could not control her bowels. She might have to be sewn up later, reconstructed later, but no, I think I could do it. But do you know what I mean? This idea of stepping up. So I don't know of any midwives that have done 4th degree tears, okay, sewn them. Sure, there are probably, but a midwife like myself in an emergency situation, a guide like this would really help me. So what about labor and delivery nurses, okay? You know, they've watched a doctor repair thousands of women. They could do it really well, okay? Even if they've never sewn before. And all they need to do is they might want to refresh themselves, see how to repair each one of the levels, but they could do it. In this information, the laceration repair, that I have about 6 chapters, okay, in there. And one of them shows how to do all the basic stitches. Now these stitches that I have explained are not just for childbirth. They can be used for other things. I stitched my husband up over his eye. He was out chopping wood and the piece of wood hit him right here and it went in through the bone, to the bone. And I sutured him up. It wasn't the greatest job. He did holler a little bit, okay. But at least I did it. Well, we didn't have any, you know, a couple hundred to go into the doctor. If it had been something that was really vital or whatever, I would have. But do you know what I mean? I could do that. So I think suturing skills are really important, and it's important to know the basic things. And the first time that I ever sutured a woman was my first client, okay? And I had only watched my preceptor midwife suture a few times. And I was really, I don't know if I can do this, okay? But I went forth and I started, and it felt really strange, and they thought, oh, this is okay. And as I say, I'm an accomplished seamstress. I know how to do this. I put it together, and you know, I was really thrilled because she healed just wonderfully. And I think, you know, that area has a lot of blood perfusion, and it will heal good, and it's a lot. There's a lot of giving in that, how it goes together and so forth. The main thing is, if you ever have the opportunity to look at bottoms, okay, out at births and so forth, really, you know, be eagle-eyed, be observant, ask questions. How does this go together, okay? So we are not going to go into suturing too much because of the fact that I don't have my handout, but you will have it, and read it thoroughly and just have it on hand for someone that needs it. I really think that suturing equipment is important to have. I will be selling them on my website too, and when I get this out, just the basic things, just what I think is important, which is a needle holder, and it needs to be a real strong one, a good quality, and then the scissors, and you need operation scissors, straight blades. Then you need a tissue holder. A thing about suturing is that you need to be very careful that you not only use a needle holder, okay, to go like this and do it, because it's a circular needle that you're going to be using, and it's hard, and a needle holder will help you place the stitches in, okay, and bring them out. But oh, to bring them out, you want some tissue forceps or whatever to clamp it and bring it out like this, okay. You should not use your hands because if you do, you can prick yourself, okay. And if you prick yourself, you are opening yourself up to get anything that the woman might have. You know, if she has hepatitis B, you've just exposed yourself. So you've got to be really careful. So even if you aren't planning on ever suturing yourself, it's important for you to have this information and to have the equipment to do it, because you're going to be in a team and someone else might be there that knows or could help to do it, but they don't have the equipment. So, yes.
Are there things
that you would suggest using herbally or natural healing to prevent?
That is really good. Okay, one thing, you're going to use your BF&C oil on the mother's bottom to help her stretch and have her crown. As the baby starts to crown, have her take it easy. Take a little bit of time. Don't have her push really hard unless you see that the baby is in trouble and needs to be out. Okay, so you can work on it. But putting the herbs, the comfrey especially, is just wonderful in the bath water, and whatever is wonderful. If you have a crock pot, put it in the crock pot too. Hold it up there. That really makes a difference. I also have a formula, cervix softener, that women take the last 4 weeks of their pregnancy, and it really cuts down on the tearing. I don't have as much tearing as most people do because of the herbs. They're wonderful. There are some things to do that you can use also, and we talked about the BF&C paste, or Dr. Christopher's burn paste. And Dr. Christopher's burn paste is wheat germ oil or all, vitamin E oil, whatever, raw honey and comfrey powder, or complete tissue and bone formula. So it's one part of each, okay, equal parts, and you can mix that up and put it on the Kotex pads, put it in the freezer. You could just put it straight on the mother's perineum. Let's say you've got a first-degree tear. You could just put the paste there and pull it together and tell the mother to keep her legs together for quite a while, okay? Even when she goes to the bathroom, keep those legs together. We are going to be doing a knit it paste, which with the comfrey, slippery elm, kelp, Oregon grapefruit, plantain, white oak bark. This will be in the thing that, and also a rainforest herb that is supposed to knit and pull it together. Now, you would put this on the perineal area, stick the area together, and then have the mother apply it or put it on a pad every time she goes to the bathroom. Another thing that can be used is seaweed. You know, at Costco they have those little square things of seaweed things. You can take seaweed, and what you need is to fold it over so it's double. You put some distilled water on it to soften it up, and you stick it in where the laceration is. And then you take another piece, wet it, and put it on top. Okay? But you put it together.
Inside the laceration?
Yeah, put one inside the laceration. You don't change that, okay? But the outside pad, you put a new one on every time you go to the bathroom for a couple days, okay? And the seaweed helps draw it together. There's one other thing too that can be used, and that is tissue adhesive. It's like super glue. Super glue is a cheaper formula than tissue adhesive, and it has alcohol in it, and so it heats up and is hotter than the tissue adhesive, okay? But I do know of midwives who use super glue. I tried it once and was not very happy with it, okay, about 30 years ago. What you do with the glue, it has to be absolutely dry, and you can take a hair dryer and dry the laceration, and then you take your fingers or a tissue forceps or whatever and pull the wound together, and then you put little dots of the glue right on the edge of the tear at the top edge on both sides and stick them together. Then you can put a little bit of glue over the top. You do not put glue down inside the wound. That will make it so that it will never come together. It'll mess it up, okay? But you just put little dots along, move down and put little dots, and you can put it together that way. But the mother still has to keep her legs together, absolutely, even when she's going to the bathroom. And she needs to stay out of the tub for a day or two. But if she can manage to keep that together for a week, it will heal just as well as being sutured. But that is for a first-degree tear or close to it. You can use suturing and the glue together by suturing the deep muscles, okay, and then glue the top together if you want to. Anyway, this is all explained and with pictures and illustrations in this handout that you can get. Yeah?
Will you just quickly go through what each degree tear is? Like you said, 4th degree is through the anal sphincter, 3rd degree, like...
Okay. 1st degree is a laceration that is pretty superficial. It can be in the vaginal area and it can go into the perineum, okay? 2nd degree is a deeper tear and it goes into the muscles in the perineum. And so you suture up the muscles first and then go and repair the rest of it. 3rd degree is going into the anal sphincter, but just a little. It isn't torn all the way. 4th degree is all the way through the external anal sphincter, the internal anal sphincter, and the anal mucosa, okay? So it is all the way through.